Hi guys, Bill again. So just last week we were looking at anonymity in rape cases. There's a few links down below from the ever impartial BBC. The first one names and shames a successful film producer, one of their own. There's no honour amongst those licence thieves. It's alleged he raped a poor hapless victim twice in one night. And it seems important they be identified as the late Amy Winehouse's boyfriend, although that doesn't seem to have much bearing on the remainder of the article. You can't help but notice though that it's 3 paragraphs below the banner headline that the reader finally finds out that this is an allegation, not a proven fact. And note too the way that subsequent allegations all get their own paragraph, well away from other wordage. If you were skimming the article, it would be very easy to miss. The next link is quite illuminating. The girl didn't seem particularly fazed by the incident. She didn't ask if she'd been raped in case it came across as being really rude. So she went out clubbing the following night to cheer herself up. Very odd. Notice that the babe are still pushing the victim angle though. She was so drunk she couldn't stand up. She trusted him. I think he trusted somebody. Just a little too much. Third link, we start to see a really different version of events. The pair had been to 3 different bars together. He claims that she initiated sex, that she was quite happy for him to walk her to the tube the following morning. She even snogged him before she left. Now he imagined that this woman, who he considered a friend, might be interested in pursuing a relationship with him, which was kind of dashed when she fucked off to the States to meet some other guy. Anyway, come April, and he had absolutely no idea of who it was that was accusing him. Now, he even imagined it might be a stalker. The last link, turns out the jury weren't particularly convinced by his anonymous accuser, so Mr. Traviss has been acquitted. Not particularly surprisingly, he's appalled that the authorities let it go this far, and he's called for anonymity for the accused in rape trials. Well, okay, so I'm with him on the last point, but I really don't think he realises how narrow his escape was. A different jury might have had a whole different perception of events. His fame and his wealth probably provoked the incident, but they also probably played a part in his acquittal as well. Whether his accuser planned the incident or not, it was pretty obvious that he had plenty of cash and was pretty emotionally vulnerable at the time that they had sex. A less well-known man might not have been accused in the first place, but he also might not have been able to defend himself against the allegation nearly as well. Now, a blind man could see that she had a lot to gain from his conviction, while he didn't really have a whole lot to gain from a drunken fumble. I suppose a big question is how we avoid these sorts of things happening in future. Well, it'd be a good start if women, well, at least a certain kind of women, started taking responsibility for their actions. If you're going to go and get bollocks with your mate, then end up sleeping with him or her, and can't quite remember in the morning if you actually meant it or not, maybe the problem isn't with your friend. In fact, maybe he or she isn't actually the sexual predator here. Follow on from that. If there was an equivalent crime, rape by envelopment, would you be screaming about what happened? Or would you start to tote up how much involvement you had in the incident? If you could be prosecuted for taking advantage of a person who'd been drinking, would you still be throwing accusations around? Now, quite plainly, the law as it stands is open to abuse. An anonymous accuser can ruin a person for participating in someone else's mistake. The fact that rape by envelopment isn't a crime means that a man cannot, even if he screams no at the top of his voice, be raped. But the anonymity granted to accusers, coupled with the catastrophic effects of that accusation, gives a malicious person an incredibly powerful weapon to punish or steal from another person. Now let's be quite clear about this. Rape is horrific. I'm categorically not saying that date rape is ever permissible in any way, shape or form, getting somebody so drunk that they can't say no, or drugging them, or physically coercing them, or any other number of ways of forcing yourself onto somebody is wrong. What I am saying is that the law, as it stands, only protects half of us from that happening. What I am saying is that the law, as it stands, is open to abuse by false accusers. And what I am saying is that the law, as it stands, has created a climate in which only one sex bears the responsibility for the actions of both. Now, granting the accused anonymity until proven guilty would take away a huge part of the malicious benefit to be gained by that accusation. And also, in a longer term, recognising that rape by envelopment is not only possible, but it happens on a distressingly regular basis, would grant both protection and equality to vulnerable people, human beings whose only crime is being born male. This isn't going to go away. This isn't going to go away until the law changes. I got one final thought. Juries are made up of the general public. Now, however much feminists insist that slut-shaming and victim-blaming should end, the public are going to have their own opinion. The more false accusations that are brought to light, and the more people are seen to have been hurt by them, then the less likely any given jury are to believe a genuine victim. Their high-profile attempts to weight the dice against men might actually be having the opposite effect. Anyway, laters guys.